I didn't know.
You can release your video order here.
What do you mean by that?
That's what just came up in the Zoom. It says you can release your video order here. I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
It came up when the meeting is started on YouTube thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
I promised. Johnny I'd eat something on the pod.
That's fair. Yeah. So you're licking sticks.
That's not the meal.
Okay.
It's that was hot. There was some spicy
remnants of whatever was your spice from your sushi.
Yeah. I'm confused why my this could be bad news bears here.
What, did someone eat your sushi?
No, my computer's not charging. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
No, Bill. The only person eating my sushi was me.
Okay, well that's good because that would be bad news bears if someone else ate your
Absolutely. It's almost gone. I've almost.
Oh, yeah, nice.
There's only 4 left.
There's some rolls there or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the stuff. Let me bring my mic in real hot here.
Nice.
Bill, we got playoff hockey. Why don't we fire up the old the internet pod for the people?
We can do that.
In a second. The audio portion for our real. Well, I'm not sure who our real fans are, but
I don't know. It's good to have fans.
Right. The league has fans. This is a exclusive fantasy hockey podcast for one league. But we dabble in other ideas.
We do.
My Slack is just not complying. Let's try this again.
The ownership is not doing especially well, so.
Well, that's not
4-year plan.
Yeah. All right. Folks are discussing Patrick Marleau on the Slack, Bill.
Correct. Yes, they seem to think that it's neat that he has played in a lot of games, but also not to be lost is the fact that he's maybe not Hall of Fame worthy.
That's the discussion.
Yes. Playing in many games does not necessarily equate, Hall of Fame.
Except for it was me.
That's sure, absolutely.
I would be a Hall of Famer, Bill.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Anthony Stolarz, huh? All right, let's fire this thing up.
Fire it up.
And welcome to the Empire Hockey Podcast. It's me, the Commish Perry, and for the Bill. We are in the heat, Bill, of the postseason. We got semifinal matchups coming up this week. A lot of excitement. Still one, defending champion still in the mix, kind of flying under the radar. That's Bruce and the Anaheim Ducks. But if he doesn't win it, we're going to have a brand new champion, and that's cool to see in our third season of play here.
Yeah, it was not a good weekend to be a division winner.
No, bad.
Yeah, very bad strategy to win your division this year.
It seems like it's always been that way. I think actually Bruce might have won it last year. He did. I think he did. Or no, he didn't because I was playing him in the first round, I think.
Well, I believe the thing that Buffalo Ryan pointed out is that it's especially a bad strategy apparently to have the most points and best record in the league.
Right. That's almost a death wish because going down this week was Chicago. Very sad and happy for some, right? Like you want to see the guys that put all the hard work in to make all the deals, but it just proves, right, that nothing is certain.
Yes, I mean it stinks this year to an extent. I'm not saying at all that there should be asterisks or anything, but the COVID did hurt a little bit, certainly.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, and but I mean theoretically, it hurts everyone the same. Like you don't know who's going to get it and who's going to be out for it. So
in some compatibility, yes.
Right. So we had the matchups. We had the Fly Guys flying to 135 points over the Blackhawks, 126. They move on. They will face the matchup, the winner of this matchup that was Detroit taking out Montreal 142 to 124. So Detroit Philly is our one matchup that's in Detroit, mind you. And then we have on the other side of the bracket, of course, we reseed, but the Ducks in a grudge match with Pittsburgh, 140 to 102. And then we had Vancouver and the Ferda boys, 133 over Declan's Jets, who won the division as well, 108. And so we are now officially out of division champions. Classic hockey matchup there, Philly, Detroit, and then you have a West Coast matchup too. It's East Coast, West Coast. It's not designed that way, but it's fun that it worked out that way. And excited to see how this goes down here in round 3, this is semifinals.
Glad that Joe Louis Arena is getting to host a meaningful game.
Good point. They're bringing back the Joe, even though it was kind of resurrecting the Joe. I've been there, Bill. It's a nice ballpark for ice puck, and I enjoyed it. It was a little tight, but I met John Van Biesberg downstairs. So
nice. Florida, was he? I guess was he done playing at that point then?
Yeah, he was a color analyst for the Detroit Red Wings. They needed a new rink though, because the undercarriage of the rink was not in good shape.
I can imagine. Sure.
We got players of the week, Bill. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's start with the forwards of the week, and we had 3 of them as always, and these guys keep popping up, although it might have been a while. Mike Zibanejad was the 3rd forward of the week, 25.75 points, 6.44 per game, 2 goals, 5 assists. Our 2nd forward of the week back is Mark Stone, just a week late for Quebec, and his 28.5 points for Stone really did nothing for Joe because he's out of the postseason. And then Artemi Panarin in his $13 million salary put up 33.75 for Philly. It helped him on to this round. Really, Panarin, if you take him out of the lineup, they lose. In the lineup, Panarin, the difference. Yeah,
it was a good week to own Rangers again. That's for sure.
Right.
Because Detroit, I know, benefited from Buchnevich, being on his team as well. I think he got him like 24 points. So it is funny though how like if you have the right team, sometimes it can, factor into some things.
It's tough to work off schedule in the beginning of the season. Whenever we started, usually it's October, but this year I don't even know when we started the season. Was it January?
Yes. Yes. I remember it was around New Year's.
The shortened season. I don't even remember what's going on anymore. We have a shortened season for us. We played 3 games a week during the regular year to try and catch up games-wise. That brought us to this point. We're in the semis. Top defenseman of the week, and one of them is on Bill's team. John Carlson, 18.5 points. Was not enough to get Bill through in the Toffs tournament. As Bill, as were my useless North Stars, eliminated from all competition this week. Adam Fox, your number 2 defenseman of the week. He is red hot. He's probably your Calder winner, Bill.
Even though he doesn't think,
because he kind of came hot at the right time, and this happens a lot. Even in baseball, you can make an analogy, right? If you're hot at the end of the year, even if you didn't play all season like this, that kind of carries a lot of weight as opposed to Kaprizov, who's been solid all year, maybe fallen off just a bit, but it looks like it's Adam Fox's award to lose at this point, the way he's been playing.
Especially if, I don't know, I don't think the Rangers are going to get in. It's probably too hard to get in, but they're at least trying to get in. Like, they've been playing especially well lately. So, and you're right, recency bias, I think, is definitely something that can be factored into voting.
I obviously, as a semi-wild fan, I would like to see Kaprizov win it. They're going to be in the postseason as opposed to Fox, who's most likely not, right?
You're more than a semi-wild fan.
I'm a North Stars fan, Bill.
Fair enough.
Ryan Lindgren, who is that? He is the top defenseman of the week. A goal and 2 assists. He was a +8 with 11 hits. He played 20.5 minutes per game. Slow week. He did have 19 points. That's pretty good.
19 fantasy points off of 3 real life points. So that means 7 points out of intangibles with the hits?
2 team shutouts too. He and Fox.
Oh.
That's a point each. Well, 2 total each. So yeah, playing good defense will help you out in the league. That's what we found out here, Bill. And then we have another surprise in our top 3 goalies of the week. You could say 3 surprises. One of them is Dustin Tokarski, who's not on a team. The free agent Buffalo Sabre had 25.25 points per game. Maybe pick him up somebody. I don't know. Igor Shesterkin, he's our number 2 goalie. He plays for St. Louis. I think they are still alive, St. Louis, in the Toffs tournament. 32.5 thanks to him, the rookie goaltender for the Rangers. And then Anthony Stolarz, who plays for Vancouver, who's still alive, helped out 34.75 from between the pipes. That's 17.5 points per game in 2 games. He was 2-0, gave up 1 goal, 73 saves. Obviously a shutout in there. Anthony Stolarz, the top goalie of the week. And honorable mention to Jeremy Swayman, new Boston netminder. He's a rookie, played at Maine college hockey. 21.5 points over 2 games. He went 2-0. I tried to pry him away from Pittsburgh at the trade deadline, not having it there, unfortunately. And look where he is now. I'm still without a real goalie, and Pittsburgh's division champion and has a rookie stud on a fresh contract there.
Well, what's crazy about that too, if you remember, is I believe that there was an attempt to make sure that we debated Pittsburgh's goaltending situation heading into the fantasy matchup last week.
Right.
And I guess he did get the message to play maybe play Swayman this week, which is crazy though, because unfortunately for Pittsburgh, he still lost by 38 points, and that's with the 21.5 points from Swayman. So.
Yeah, playing him over Frederick Anderson. Yeah, it was. I don't want to say a no doubter, but the way that Anderson ended up hurt, right? Also has Husso and Jonas Johansson. But his goalies hadn't really performed all year, and so now he has one for the future, which is cool. In a fun fantasy hockey nerd out way that I feel about it. You draft a guy like Swayman, right, in the minors draft, and hoping that he one day makes it to the pros. Now you got a $925 goalie of the future, theoretically, for a very good team in Boston, traditionally.
Well, I mean, maybe I only got half of that right, because if you recall, I made a big deal last week about how that's exactly what I did this season. Was I drafted Vanacek in my minors, and
right.
He was like one of the top goalies of the year, really, for a long time. I played him this week, and he was a -9 on my team for my first week playing him. So it was pretty awesome.
Rookie goalie problems, Bill. Sometimes they show up and they're not as advertised, but kind of a weird. Yours is more of a fantasy issue than it is a Vanacek issue.
Oh, by far, yes. It's terrible ownership by the Capitals.
Swayman's only played in 5 total games. He just came up recently after playing very well for the Providence Bruins in the AHL. So fun to see that. Those are your top scorers there. Top teams of the week. It's kind of hard to do because we had 2 different playoffs going on. But
one of the things I thought was telling for, I think it's Bruce, right? That is the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
Is he had 38 points from 3 defensemen, which was key in his matchup, because I did remember watching the real life Washington Capitals game on Sunday, and Connor Clifton drew 2 4-minute penalties. One, I think they were both high sticks. Or another. So I was like, I'm sure someone is benefiting from these random Connor Clifton double minors. And sure enough, like he had 10 3/4 points out of 1 assist. Connor Clifton, who had 8 PIMs, 7 hits, and 4 blocks. So I thought that was amusing. But I think Tomas Chabot got him 14.5 points. So that's again, it's part of the fun, though. Like you said, where Tokarski gets points
Stolarz, yeah.
A crazy week, and then you're in a fantasy matchup and you're facing Tomas Chabot, and Tomas Chabot gets 14.5 against you, and Maxime Comtois gets 16.5 against you. So you never quite know where the week goes.
Those second and third level scoring players are kind of what carry you, right? Because you expect a certain amount out of your stars, and if you don't get that, you're in big trouble. But you expect the certain scoring from the stars in this case, and then any secondary or tertiary type additions, that's what carries you on. Top teams going into this round, cumulative points for the Yoffs, from 1 down to 4. You have Vancouver, 324 total points in the Yoffs. Philadelphia at 311. Detroit at 307. That's your matchup there. And then the Ducks are kind of motoring along, 285. Balanced team. Bruce has a young team, maybe a year ahead. Obviously, they were credited with last year's championship because they were the top team during the regular year, and we had no way of finishing that tournament. So they just won, the Coupal Cup without playing a game, right, in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So we have those playoff. Go ahead, Bill.
And in his matchup too, is going to be big too because Vancouver updated their logo. So when you got a team updating their logo like Canucks did,
okay,
that's going to be a big factor.
That's big. I didn't even know. That's really good. That's a really good call by you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a moment, Bill, and talk about the Toffs, which has been sorted out from its 14 teams down to 8. This is a shot at the number 1 pick, best odds at the number 1 selection in the rookie draft. You have some intriguing matchups here. The Sharks have been super hot so far in the Toffs. They're the number 1 team, number 1 seed, if you will, taking on the 8 seed Toronto, which has scary players on it, right? Just can't really put it all together. What do you think of that top matchup there?
It's going to be intriguing. I remember I was in the fake matchups last week. One of my fake matchups was Toronto, so I kept monitoring how that was going. I think it's Sharks though, like you said, was just motoring through, with stuff like, I don't know. It should be interesting to say the least.
Then you have your 2 seed, the St. Louis Blues, who are, ironically a Rangers fan, taking on the New York Rangers, who's Webb, who threw a little chirp at his buddy there in the chat we saw on Slack when Chicago was knocked off. That's an interesting one, too. These teams are playing. You want to get one of those top picks, plenty of top draft picks on some of these teams. Obviously, Toronto had the number 1 pick, got Lafreniere last year. Try to get it again. But what do you think about St. Louis against a lot of blue going on there? Rangers.
Well, yeah, that is true. St. Louis is coming off a 167-point week. So, if you're coming into Toffs at the right time, that certainly helps. You had the 32 from Shesterkin. He had a ton of points from defense too. Pionk and Trouba and Klingberg were getting him points. Pacioretty got him like 24 points. But like in terms of balance, St. Louis got a lot of balanced production last week. But sometimes, like we've said, it's sometimes if you're got a team that's having some players go well at the right time, maybe that's part of the benefit. And certainly heading into this week, Blues certainly has that.
Absolutely fun one there. Then you have 2 new owners going head-to-head here. Ottawa Senators and Cam against Bobby and the California Golden Seals. These are 2 teams that could use a high pick, obviously. Everyone could. But these are 2 teams that had a bit of a struggle this year. California more so than Ottawa. But a chance to kind of boost your positioning in the draft. Even if you don't get the 1 pick, Bill, you can kind of move your way up the draft board here and find yourself in the top. You're already in top 8 theoretically here.
Yeah, and hard to not root for some of those teams for sure. I will say that I thought it was very intriguing that Ottawa got 111 points last week, starting 3 guys who were injured, and I think he had 3 or 4 other guys who had like 1 point or negative points. So
wow,
when you have like 8 guys, combined for like a point.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, it's not great, but no, you still get 111 because he had like 20 out of Bonino. Backstrom's on his team. Sam Reinhart, the inspired Buffalo Sabres, so you never quite know. It is, I do think it's cool to see, the Golden Seals, I know had some struggles throughout the year. So, to be able to make it into Toffs and, get some puck luck and see what happens.
Yeah, the Seals went 9-24 during the regular year. Not to be outdone on that end of things, Boston kind of sold late in the season, and they're still in it. They were they'll take on Tampa Bay. This is kind of the middle of the pack as far as tops is concerned. Tampa, maybe a little disappointed they didn't make the offs, but they're still in it here for this top pick. Sherry has to be excited about what he has in store here. They can make a run. I see any of these teams obviously making a run here at the top percentage spot. Sharks have been scoring the most points, of course, but 300 points for them, 300 for Blues. Those are the only teams over 300 points in the top so far.
We've talked about hot cold, and Tampa is, I think, the epitome of hot cold, because Tampa had 65 points last week when, I mean, we've mentioned before that like they've put up 140 or 150 like these at times. So it's all comes down to how it plays out. That's for sure.
A little bit embarrassing for the 18 and 15 North Stars to not be included in this group. Despite my best efforts, could not field a team that could get into the top 8. Not happy about that. The Whalers just on the outside looking in, only less than 4 points out of the top 8. Tough for Joe. And another expansion team, Portland. They were the closest. They were within 8 points of making it into the top 8. So I feel bad.
Yeah.
A lot for Nick, who gave it his all there at the end of that's portion there. Phoenix, the bottom team in the toss, 139-5 in 2 weeks, is not going to get it done. But he has a lot of picks he's kind of built up, so we'll see he's able to dig up in the deep bowels of the rookie draft when he has a decent amount of selections there next year and basically a clean slate to work from. Kind of the Bill Morgul approach there.
Yeah, well, I can relate to it a little bit, certainly. So we just have to hope they pan out.
All right, so that's the toffs and the yoffs. They've all been spoken for. What's your matchup of the week, Bill? We have just 4 to choose from in the. We'll focus on the yoffs here.
I was gonna say, do we pick a yoffs matchup or a toffs matchup? I don't know. I mean, I think that they're really fun matchups for the playoffs. I can't help but think though that Canucks Ducks sucks. It's a good matchup. Ducks, like you said, it's been solid. I think somebody pointed it out in the Slack. I don't remember, but Canucks is on a roll right now.
Oh yeah,
they're coming in with a ton of momentum, and that should be, I think, a very fun matchup to see. I will say though too that like Detroit is kind of in the same way in that they closed the regular season really, really well. Really coming on strong. Made that couple of acquisitions at the deadline. And really pretty balanced himself. So I will say in that matchup, you've got Saros, Varlamov in goal, which is you got 2 good goalies in addition to everything else going on there. I'm trying to remember who the Canucks Ducks. It's always Lank Daddy, Lankinen, and Robin
Leonard.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Any moves? Vancouver's running some guys out there on the blue line that either have come on as of late, or not a lot of household names in that blue line, other than maybe Joel Edmondson. Mike Riley's just recently getting time with Boston.
Definitely never heard of Joel Hanley in my life. I know Jelly may yell at me, I think, because he's a star, but I don't
know who Igor Sharangovich is either for the Devils, but maybe that's just a me problem.
Well, he's a contender for longest name on the back of a jersey in the league.
That's true. Luke Shen. Some would say the wrong Shen, Sami Vatanen. So yeah, that's he's definitely forward heavy. One of my favorites, Kevin Fiala, of course. Draisaitl and Marchessault.
Yeah, good
his
centers on that team.
Great center play. You need good center play, and that's true at any level of hockey. So yeah, both are great matchups. Bill's taking Vancouver, Anaheim as his top matchup. I am taking Detroit and Philly as my matchup of the week, so that everyone, no one gets left out there. Beautiful. A lot of excitement, Bill. We got a lot of stuff going on. Fun to watch. I know you and I will be watching these matchups all the way down to the wire. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Just hope that we don't have any more breakouts like Colorado did over the weekend. Let's hope that that can hopefully stay astray, and that way too. The EHA comes down to it's all
team.
on the ice, I guess is the best way to say it.
Absolutely. All right. We'll catch you guys next week. We're talking